Well, hi everyone and welcome to this webinar on completing your NQT induction in a British school overseas. On behalf of Eteach and ESP, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and I hope this is a useful session for you. Questions can be taken during the webinar in the chat pod, or you can ask any questions live at the end. My name's Izzy Hall and I'm the NQT and Teacher Development Director here at ESP. I'm also joined today by Danielle Clayfield, who's the NQT Community Manager at Eteach. And we have a representative from AOBSO, that's the Association of British Schools Overseas, on the call, Mark Bignor. So I'm going to run through some information about Eteach and how they can help you find a post, and then talk a little bit more about what's involved in NQT induction overseas. Created in 2001, Eteach are the online recruitment experts that offer a free job site to teaching candidates, including NQTs, and connects them directly with schools. Eteach aims to support students secure their first teaching job following graduation. Equally, Eteach are dedicated to providing expert direct recruitment services and recruitment software solutions to schools. Celebrating their 20th anniversary in 2021, Eteach has worked with over 7,500 schools and colleges globally and remains focused on supporting multi-academy trusts, large secondaries, state, independent and FE colleges, as well as local authorities with their recruitment needs. And Eteach is the strategic recruitment partner of the Association of British Schools Overseas, AOBSO, and supports some of the very best British international schools around the world with their annual teacher recruitment. As a result, Eteach is uniquely placed to support you in finding an NQT post in a UK DFE British School Overseas accredited school abroad. I'll go on to talk a little bit more about what that means. So the first step on your teaching journey is to register with Eteach. This can be done by visiting Eteach's dedicated NQT webpage, eteach.com/NQT-home. After registration, you can choose to sign up to receive job alerts and join the school talent pools. If an NQT role is not immediately available, joining a talent pool is the next best thing, putting candidates on the school's radar should the need for an NQT arise. It will also alert Eteach to your ongoing interest in starting your career abroad. Not all NQT positions are advertised online, so Eteach's team of recruitment consultants will also put your details forward to recruiting schools directly where your skill set matches with their recruitment need. Additionally, ESP have relations with a large number of BSO schools around the world who are regularly looking for NQTs to join their teaching staff. So there are lots of opportunities there for you. So there's now a limited window for BSO schools still looking to recruit for the next academic year. So Eteach is sharing pen portraits of any candidates still looking to go abroad for the next academic year with schools. If you would like to be included in the NQT showcase document, you can email Danny directly on nqt@eteach.com. She'll just need some basic information about you, plus a short statement about why you want to teach internationally and a professional headshot image. This is an example of what an NQT brochure page looks like. So what is NQT induction? Well, in the UK, when a teacher successfully finishes their teaching qualification, for example, a PGCE or BEd, with qualified teacher status, as QTS, they then become NQTs. This means they need to complete the statutory three-term DFE programme known as the Induction for Newly Qualified Teachers. Completing this induction enables them to be legally employed as a teacher in a maintained school. It's not until you've completed your NQT induction that you are fully qualified in the eyes of the DFE and many other international education ministries. As an NQT, you have two choices where to complete your NQT induction. This can either be in a UK maintained school, academy or independent school, or for those looking to travel, it could be in an accredited British school overseas. More details on that coming up soon. During an NQT induction period, the NQT teaches classes, plans lessons and assesses students. However, they have a reduced timetable, an induction tutor or mentor who monitors, observes and supports them throughout the year. An NQT will also receive more CPD more CPD during the year, and a chance to benefit from opportunities to observe best practice in other classrooms, which is really the best way to learn. This is all to ensure that the NQT meets all of the DfE's teacher standards by the end of the year, successfully completes their induction, and becomes a fully qualified teacher. So, can you complete induction overseas? Yes. However, there are some DfE guidelines around this that it's really important that you understand. Only those schools that have undertaken a successful BSO inspection, that's a British School Overseas inspection, within the last 6 years are able to offer NQT induction. In addition, the school must also be a member of one of the 5 DfE recognised international associations. These are the Association of British Schools Overseas, AOBSO, for which we've got the representative today, the British Schools in the Middle East, BSME, the Council of British International Schools, COBIS, the Federation of British International Schools in Asia, FOBISIA, and the National Association of British Schools in Spain, NABS. There are a lot of abbreviations in this field, I think you'll agree. More guidance can be found on the DfE website about the BSO inspection scheme if you want to have a look. Once you go onto the DfE website, which is gov.uk, you'll be able to find information there about BSO inspection scheme. The scheme was brought in by the DfE in 2012 and allows BSO accredited schools to support NQTs through induction in the same way as schools in the UK. Independent schools overseas can pay to undertake a BSO inspection if they wish to become accredited. BSO inspection helps to inform parents about how the standards in these schools measure up against the standards that apply to independent schools in the UK. So you can also find more information about BSO inspection and a list of BSO inspected schools on the AOBSO website, which is aobso.uk, or as I say, on the DfE website as well. BSO schools are, through external validation, deemed the very best British curriculum schools in the world. There are currently around 160 BSO schools in the world across 43 countries, ranging from Panama in the west to Hong Kong in the east. And the largest majority of these accredited schools are in the Middle East and Europe as well. There really is a good spread of schools. I'm often asked this question: is NQT induction different if I'm teaching in a BSO school compared to in the UK? And the answer is no, it really should be a very similar process. It should be as rigorous as the NQT induction process back in the UK. As in the UK, an NQT will have scheduled meetings with the mentor to discuss their progress. In addition, the NQT will be observed regularly in class by the mentor, who will offer feedback and support. And an NQT is also observed by a member of the SLT. As in the UK, you may find that you are the only NQT in your school, but you may also find that there are a cohort of NQTs. The staff communities in BSO schools are very strong, and you will be well supported by teachers who understand how you are feeling. BSO schools often assign a teacher to act as a buddy who has been in NQT recently to help you during your NQT year. And they'll also be more conscious of helping you to settle in when you first arrive, as you'll be new in the country. BSO schools are great at helping with the practicalities and the requirements before you leave the UK, and they will provide plenty of support when you first arrive. I've heard some really good stories about the level of support that NQTs have received from BSO schools, and those that we work with are really fantastic at helping you to make sure you have a smooth transition into your post. So, talking about NQT induction, ESP, working in partnership with Tinsley Meadows Primary Academy and Five Rivers Mat and Teaching School, is proud to be the leading NQT induction service for BSO accredited schools worldwide, regularly supporting the induction of over 250 NQTs, each year. The appointment of an appropriate body, an AB, such as ESP, is a statutory requirement for the NQT induction process in BSO schools. Our role is to notify the DfE when NQTs are registered. We monitor each NQT's induction through term assessment ratification, and then we submit the final recommendation to the DfE's teaching regulation agency that the NQT has met the teacher's standards. We also provide a quality assurance role for the process, and a handbook for the NQT and supporting documentation for the mentors, the NQTs and the heads, along with a dedicated NQT area on our website with how-to guides and top tips. If there are any concerns about an NQT's performance during the year, we will also provide impartial advice and support to the NQT and the school. We offer remote NQT CPD, and we provide schools with lots of suggestions for specific CPD for NQTs on top of the usual inset days, training and professional development that a school offers. Schools can also take up remote or in-country mentor training, so they can ensure that their mentors are well prepared to take on the role and know the best ways in which they can support and nurture their NQTs. A lot of the schools that we work with do ask us to come in to deliver mentor training face-to-face, so I'm often going out to the Middle East, but obviously at the moment that is quite tricky. So we've come up with some remote packages to support mentors within schools internationally. So how are NQTs assessed? Well, at the end of each term, the mentor formally assesses the NQT and determines whether he or she is meeting all of the relevant professional teacher standards based on the evidence provided by the NQT, as well as feedback from lesson observations, meetings, etc. They summarise the progress made, targets met, and future targets in a formal assessment on our specialist platform that's shared with the NQT head teacher and us as the appropriate body. When we've approved the decision, the appropriate body then notify the DfE, and an NQT successful completion is reported back to the DfE in exactly the same way as the induction of an NQT working in the UK. So I support NQTs in the UK as well as internationally, and there is no difference in how that's reported back to the DfE. As the appropriate body, we do ensure that the school is compliant with UK processes and that your NQT is comparable to that being delivered to those who choose to remain in the UK. So we've already explained a little bit about how to find a job in a BSO school. When you're registering with Eteach, you will be able to set up alerts for international jobs. Eteach International, that are based in Dubai, work with leading international schools around the world, where the UK's NQT qualification is well respected. As part of the onboarding process, Eteach pre-screen all NQT candidates, assisting them with their CV, personal statement, and interview preparation. So if you've got any questions around that, Danny is on the session, so she'll be able to help answer any questions once I've finished. So just a final reminder as well, remember that a school must have had a BSO inspection within the last 6 years in order to offer NQT induction. So please check that a school's last BSO inspection report has been undertaken within the last 6 years before accepting a post. If you want us to check that for you, I'm very happy to help with that. Got our contact details coming up. And please note that even if an international school is eligible to offer NQT induction, they aren't obliged to do so. So please check with them, first of all, that they would be happy to support your NQT induction. Obviously, if Eteach place you in a school as an NQT, on the understanding you're there to do your NQT induction, they will happily support you through that. So some contact details for you here. Danny, as I say, who's also on the call, is here from Eteach. You can email her any questions at nqt@eteach.com. I'm Izzy. You can email me with any induction-related questions at all, nqt@espeducation.co.uk. And Mark is representing AOBSO, so any questions to do with school accreditation and the BSO inspection scheme can go to admin@aobso.uk. So hopefully that covers everything. If you've got any questions at all, I'm very happy to take those now. As I say, Mark and Danny here as well, so they'd be happy to